Hello everyone and welcome back to the Fantasy Football Fix YouTube channel. It's time for another episode of Eddie versus the Algorithm, the series here on FPL YouTube, where, as I'm sure you know, we're taking on a computer-generated team put together by the Fantasy Football Fix algorithm for every game week of the season, and we see by the end of the 38 game weeks who is better, a man or a machine, which can win FPL. And should you be listening to all those algorithm tools out there, such as the Fantasy Football Fix algorithm, which is of course the best one, as we all know. Without any further ado, though, let's get into having a look at how the Game Week 11 algorithm team is shaping up. But just before that, we do need to have a little quick recap as to how things went down in Game Week 10 and what the current score is looking like after last game week was all said and done. And the algorithm scored 50 points in Game Week 10, which all in all is a pretty disappointing score, I reckon you'd probably say. Not the highest scoring game week for teams that didn't have the likes of Erling Haaland in them, and this team was one of such sides. Saka captaincy didn't end up paying off, only 6 points for him, doubled to 12 of course. Salah and Haaland both outscoring the Arsenal man, and then Odegaard, who was actually rotated out, so Kufal's 2 points were required from the bench, and 2 points seemed to be the story for a lot of the other players in this team. So Solanke and Watkins failing to get any sort of returns. Same story with Luka Dean, but Matty Cash did manage to preserve the Aston Villa clean sheet while he was subbed off before Villa conceded. Liverpool defended options, so Becker and Trent also kicking in with some decent points, but overall a pretty disappointing performance all round from the algorithm 11, and 50 points to beat was a pretty easy score too, I would say, all in all. And yeah, I'm going to flex on that. I scored 74 points with my team that I put together as a free hit in Game Week 10. Despite a few flops like Bowen, Watkins, who I had as well, a Dingler, who I took a punt on, and the punts don't seem to be going too well for me at the moment. He didn't manage to score any significant points total of any note, really. And then Trippier also in my side, not really a punt, but 0 points was definitely disappointing for him, and it was quite a performance from him, really, against Wolves. But other than that, the team did really well. Salah, as the captain, did end up being a better option than Saka. Still did have him in the team, of course, but I should have kept the captaincy on Erling Haaland, really. 16 points for him, and keeping him in a fixture against Manchester United wasn't the straightforward decision, but I'm glad I went with it in the end, as I'm also glad I went with Diaby in midfield. 13 points from him as well also really made the difference, alongside some clean sheets from Raya and Simicas, as well as that one from Matty Cash like the algorithm team had, meant that it was a pretty comfortable victory. 24 points the difference between it, you know, almost outscoring the algorithm by 150%, so very happy with that. We even had Taylor's 6 points down there on the bench if we really did need them, from him grabbing a goal. Hope any of you who maybe had Gabriel out there did manage to get some points from the bench, whichever defender ended up coming in for you. I did see a few teams with Taylor, so well done to you if you did manage to get those points, although, you know, we're going to call them what they are, which is jammy points. But yeah, we'll move into Game Week 11 now and have a look at how the algorithm team is lining up. It's what you're here for. Let's not delay it any longer and get into it. And so predicted points for this week, Game Week 11, are 77. The score now currently sits at 8-2, if I could pronounce my words correctly. 8-2 it is to me, so a 6-point lead over the algorithm. At this point in the season, I'm very happy with. I'm going to have to start letting it get wins soon, otherwise its reputation could be taking a bit of a knock. But it'll try and claw a win back this week. Let's see who is in goal for the computer-generated team, and it is going to be Edison. So Bournemouth at home for Manchester City, a very nice fixture. 4.5 predicted points for him. Nothing really too much to note there. Man City aren't keeping a massive number of clean sheets. They always do seem to find a way to concede a goal, even when it's looking very comfortable for them. They did manage it against Manchester United. Let's see if they can manage the same at the weekend. Of course, a very nice fixture on paper. But Bournemouth are definitely no pushover. And to be honest, I could easily see Solanke grabbing one goal, even if it being a consolation or something. I could see Bournemouth probably nicking one, maybe at the Etihad. In defence then, we've got Guehi, Tsimikas, and then Virgil van Dijk. Now, as I'm recording this, haven't currently seen the end of the Liverpool game. I know Tsimikas did play in it. Maybe a slight sniff of some potential rotation at the weekend, but who are Liverpool going to really bring in for Tsimikas? I'm not too sure. My prediction would definitely be that he starts, and I'm hoping so, given that I own him in my own team. Van Dijk as well in defence, so another double up on Liverpool for the algorithm this week. And then Gray, another option who I'm actually looking at bringing in my own personal side. If you're wondering for who, you can go and check out yesterday's video where I cover all my team selection stuff. Spoiler alert, it's Botman that I'm considering transferring out for Gray. I'm not going to go and make you watch that whole video just to hear that. In midfield, though, let's have a look at who is the midfield five. We've got Mohamed Salah, Hwang Hee-chan, Mbeumo, Foden, and Heung-min Son. So, some old players that were popular a few game weeks ago actually becoming more popular again for the computer-generated team. It did, actually have some loyalty to Mbeumo in the last few weeks as well, and, has paid off in the past. Mbeumo's predicted 5.3 points this week in the home game against West Ham for Brentford. And West Ham side who have been in very, very good form as I'm recording this as well. Looking like they're going to knock Arsenal out of the League Cup. So, West Ham team who are playing very well, especially at home. But they will be on the road when they face Brentford in game week 11. Elsewhere in the midfield, Phil Foden, again with that Bournemouth at home fixture, looks very nice for Manchester City, so it will not be Alvarez up front, otherwise we couldn't have that, we wouldn't have Haaland because of already having a Manchester City double up in this team so far. Heung-min Son still makes it in despite a pretty tricky fixture on paper against Chelsea. They've got Enzo Fernandez, looks like he might be back fit and available, so I'm expecting them to be quite a bit improved with him back in the team. But Heung-min Son playing as the number 9 through the middle and presumably going to be on penalties as well. I think he is almost too good to pass up on no matter what the fixture. Maybe against Manchester City it might be one of the only times or something I'd think about even going without Son in one of these weeks, to be honest, right now. And then Hwang Hee-chan, we're going to brush over Salah because he's obviously going to be in it for the game against Luton. But Hwang Hee-chan, 4.6 predicted points for him as Wolves travel to Sheffield United. Personally, I think with the Neto injury situation, I think Wolves are going to lose quite a lot of their creative spark. I'm not too sure about going in on Wolves for that reason right now, but Hwang Hee-chan has looked a great option over the last couple of weeks. I was eyeing up him and Neto as potential options in my team, but I think more people are looking to maybe even ship on Wolves attacking assets right now, but I'm definitely not opposed to going for one and maybe even looking at defender options for my team as well as they rotate nicely with the likes of Simicast, Cash, and a Newcastle defender in your backline. So yeah, I'm more looking at the defensive side of Wolves rather than going for an attacker, but Hwang Hee-chan has been in some pretty fine form as of late, so I don't hate it too much. And then up front, we've obviously got Erling Haaland taking the captain's armband alongside Callum Wilson, who did start on the bench against Manchester United in the League Cup, came off, and yeah, he'll probably be starting the weekend. Or I'd say there's pretty much 100% certainty that he will be starting the weekend. You can never know for certain. But when Callum Wilson does start, I think at the end of last season, he did rather well against Arsenal. I could see him doing well against Arsenal again. Home fixture for Newcastle, they'll be high on confidence after what happened in midweek against Manchester United. And yeah, definitely don't hate the pick, and I don't think you should let the Arsenal fixture in isolation put you off. I know the fixtures aren't brilliant for Newcastle at the moment, but Callum Wilson, when he's assured minutes, that's the only thing that really stops him. He's pretty fixture-proof, to be honest, when he's got those minutes. It's just when Isak's available and competing with him, that is a problem for Wilson at the moment. We don't have that. On the bench, we've got Archer, Taylor, and Trusty, alongside Areola, who's the backup goalkeeper. But that's going to wrap up the Algo team. Let's have a look at the side I put together to go up against it and try and outscore the predicted 77 points for this week. Well, my predicted points are 69. I've gone with the double Wolves defence instead of going for the attack, as I kind of alluded to. I've gone with Jose Sarr and Kilman as well, because I like him for bonus points. Stuck with Gray, but I've also gone with Anderson, so kind of double up on the Crystal Palace backline. I'm taking some big risks and going that way, and then also got Simicast in. So despite having some nice fixtures in the backline, I don't actually have a single player with a home fixture in the entirety of the back five I've chosen to go with this week. Bit of an unorthodox strategy, but, it's worked for me in previous weeks, so I'm going to stick with it and go with my gut. I've then doubled up on the Liverpool attack, so obviously got Salah in there, but also Darwin Núñez. He scored a nice goal in midweek. Hopefully, he should be in line for a start at the weekend as well. And Luton away is obviously a very nice fixture where it's hard not to back a forward you're thinking is starting for a team going up against them. To be honest, right now, it doesn't really matter which team they're playing for, but Liverpool are a team with great XG right now. And yeah, Darwin Núñez, if he's starting, I'm hoping he'll be able to grab a return for me in this one. We've then got Foden and Haaland still, who does have the captain's armband. Heung-min Son is also still in my side. And then Alvarez is the other one I have added. So I've gone with the triple Man City attack, as opposed to going with someone in defence. I just do think that this could be a fixture where there are quite a number of goals in it for Manchester City. So that's why I've chosen to go that way. On the bench, we have got Hwang Hee-chan, actually, and Adingra if they are needed. Johnny Evans as well, just for the cheap option, and kind of a meme down on the bench with how poor Manchester United are at the moment. I will not be suggesting any Man United assets for your sides. Maybe even bring in some Fulham players for this week. No, only joking with that, really. But to be honest, anything could happen with Manchester United right now. They're conceding, 6 goals in the last 2 games. I think that there could be something in that fixture for Fulham, in all honesty. But yeah, that's going to wrap up Eddie versus the algorithm for another week. Sorry if you heard the pain of my Manchester United support coming through in my voice just there. Hopefully you guys are having a great week, and I wish you all the best of luck with Game Week 11. If you have any questions around your own teams, feel free to pop them down below in the comments. I'll try my best to get back to you. But other than that, thank you very much for tuning in. Leave a thumbs up if you did enjoy. If you want to check out if there are any late changes to the algo team and use all the other tools I used in the video yesterday, for example, to research all my transfer picks and strategy that I've got going over the next couple of weeks, then you can do so via the links in the description. But that's all from me. Thank you very much for watching again, and I'll see you very soon. Goodbye.